I think we know what we're in for here, right? We're in for the funnest matchup and the funnest scenario.
Oh yeah, I forgot this was Invasion.
So look, this is the OTC. This is not an OTC game. This was a grudge match because Lewis had dodged me for months. So I picked a caster who I really liked. I really like Ragemonger. I like his feat. I really like his ability to turn ones into sixes. I really like his and the way that unyielding works on his beasts. And I think it synergizes really well with Brigs and Quartermasters and Deepborns. Hey Lewis, what were you picking?
Look, it was an interesting one. A lot of thought went into it, and I think I was going to just roll with a caster that brought me a lot of success at the event, getting me 3 of my 4 wins. I don't know if your ratio was similar for your Ragemonger games. Obviously, we both played our fair and balanced lists to go undefeated at the event. But yeah, look, I think Watery Grave was the reason that I took Ragemonger.
Yeah. We always love Watery Grave, man. We love doing that power 12? 12, right?
One moment, please. Grave, a cost 2, range 8, that's power 12, which with a duration of round. That's interesting. Hold out for it.
That's amazing.
Because when a model is boxed by Watery Grave, center a 3-inch template on the box model and then remove that model from play. Wolf, literally crying. The caster is ruined.
Yeah,
The
I
template
cannot.
is Shallow Water.
I can't play
While
Wolf
in the
into that.
template, models gain resistance fire. They don't even have to be completely within. It's an absolutely busted spell.
That's amazing. I'm sure we've got a lot of very good water synergies in this army.
Hang on. I don't think it's one that you always count as being in it, though. No, you just have to be in it for resistance fire, but if you're in it, you're not in water. Thank you for your time.
So I remember an important part about this matchup is I remember I took Black Spot. What about you? Did you take Black Spot?
I didn't take Black Spot. I think I took the best spell in the game, Rough Seas.
That's right. We were arguing about whether it was a Rough Seas matchup or not. I don't believe I had Rough Seas. I believe I just decided.
No, I think we both did end up taking it.
Oh, that's right. I decided I don't need Fury Strength.
That's right, yeah. And I think I did take it anyway.
I did have 2 Deepborns, like 2 actually armored Deepborns. They had bucklers and spearback, so they were armor 23 in melee. You probably needed to have some ability to crack it. You brought 1 Minnow and a Viraga, which, I don't like the Minnow that much. I find armor under 22 is kind of fake.
Yeah, look, the minnow, I had a minnow in both of my lists. In my other list, I had an 11-point Marty, whose whole job it was to reliably kill a big pig at 15 inches. That was his whole job. And so the minnow in this list had a similar job.
My answer to Big Pig was Powder Keg.
I don't have a good track record of specifically powder kegging Big Pig. Like it's like a 5%
you
rate on Big Pig, but like a 300% rate on every Colossal I faced. I think I literally hit it every single time, especially with Shadow Tongue.
You should have seen his game 1 at the OTC. This monster took out like 70 points with Powder Keg in a turn.
Oh.
And I bet it was a matchup that you really needed to pull out all the stops for.
It was versus a player who, definitely looked like I think he'd played 1 Mark 4 game, or was that his first?
I think it was probably his first, if not second, 100-point game.
Nice.
He played a few starter games.
Listen, I was nice-ish. I tried to be nice, but unfortunately, he did bring Ostrom, and that just the red haze just descends, and you just start hitting, and you just don't stop.
You just woke up after the game and you didn't remember what happened.
Oh god, the game went. We got a peek behind the curtain, people. It's like the Matrix.
It's exciting.
So yeah, the big difference between our lists. You brought some fire spitters.
I did. I did.
And well, God, what did I brought a slightly more real battle group. I think I have an extra Quartermaster on here.
No, I'm full swathe of Quartermasters as well.
What the hell's the different turn list?
Yeah, at the time, wasn't this a religious schism that you were two trying to solve?
Well, we resolved it, didn't we?
And you'll have to watch till the end of the video to find out. Yeah, I think. Well, our second lists were actually quite materially different. Like at the end of the day, I think as far as the matchups that we take these Ragemonger games into, yours was more focused on maybe a little bit more staying power and just attritioning and completely tabling your opponent.
Turns out when you face Cardor 99% of the time, you kind of just realize that you've got to kill them in one turn.
Interesting.
It's upsetting. I don't like that army. I'm trying to just realize what the hell I had. Like, you've got these 16-point Defy Spitters. Can't just be Battle Brig, right? I had a Dirge or two. Yeah. Okay, so we're also playing Invasion, a scenario that sucks, right? Like, we decided that this was going to be an awful experience because we're playing Ragemonger versus Ragemonger, one of the most rocket taggy matchups in the game. And we decided to just add Invasion, which is not a good scenario, because if you start to win, you kind of just instantly win.
Yeah, look, I didn't do what I could, I think, to mediate that though. I think these Froggers probably, in hindsight, definitely should have been.
Oh, you absolutely
ambushed
threw them away.
But
like, you absolutely threw them away.
We will see on the right flank, but they should have owned, and they simply didn't roll. They didn't roll sixes, and that's a personal failure on their part.
That's it. So,
100%. Oh, you have a full Reef Troll as well.
Oh, that's right. I brought my little cannon Reef Troll, which for all the shit I give Reef Trolls,
correct.
Which for all the shit I give to Reef Trolls, he was a little fucking hero that entire weekend.
No, 100%. I deeply regret cutting the Reef Troll, because I was playing in a league at the same time, and my stupid little Reef Troll really affects the Dusk matchup, especially.
Yeah, because the thing about the fucking these guys, the Fire Guardians, is that magic weapons in 10 inches. It's actually not very good. It's not great because in a matchup where it actually matters, you have to put them kind of deep set enough that they're not just going to get killed. And the Reef Troll is just such a long range that he's very casually able to sit within. Oh, look at that! Look at that sportsmanship. Anyway, he's very casually able to sit within 10 inches of it and then pop things like pretty casually.
No, absolutely.
Yeah.
And I've never done it, but hypothetically, I do think that Ragemonger is one of the only casters that can reliably rack. Which one is it? Tides of War, which does open up some interesting avenues. But as I say, never actually done it. But it's a nice thought.
Ragemonger is just such a mainstay of the army that it's really, really hard to because you build him in a way that you're trying to tackle a lot of the matchups in the game, just because he can do it. You end up having to take a pretty standard game plan. Like, it's rare that you take a niche Ragemonger list because I don't think anyone else in the army can really hack taking on that much more of the game.
See, these frogs on the right are in such a commanding position, and you don't respect them, and then you are unfortunately vindicated. But I won't give away too much.
Well, the frogs, I don't really care about. The thing is that in our armies, the brigs are unstoppable little, they are absolutely incredible in this matchup.
Brine's everything is incredibly good against Brine's. Brine's preys on honest stat lines and honest ranged outputs, and as much as the Ragemonger 40k list, which is what we're both playing, is good. It's very reliable, has a big assassination threat. At the end of the day, it's just quite accurate power 14s a lot of the time. But that's we love shooting things that almost auto die, and that's this matchup. That's Brine's in general.
Yeah, the thing is that like if it was just a regular style, like honestly the Quartermaster mini feat on the rest of the Marauder unit, it's kind of overkill in the matchup. Like it would almost be worse than a unit of tappers when you take in the cost, except for the fact that the Quartermaster will then kill a whole unit on his own.
Well, 100%. 100%.
So no, very nice Varroga conversion you got there.
Thank you. It's I'm very grateful for the for the new Pyg Troll, new to me, which was released probably in 2008. But you know the one with the big flaming fists. So Chiron and the big flaming fist Pyg Troll combined in a kind of GNU Force style before the battle. And unfortunately, the Pyg Troll is just sitting in my bits box with no hands now.
So I was really worried because like we were playing Invasion and we were playing the Rocket Tag game, and you managed to do the really big brain thing of going first.
It's true.
And you picked up very commanding position. I was very worried that I was just kind of going to get annihilated turn 2. It's these lists have some absurd threat range for how fragile they are. The Brigs being able to move units just gives this X factor as well, where you kind of just got to be like, ooh, spin the wheel, which unit's going to suddenly kill way more than has any right to.
Yeah, that's right. It's like it's very cool that although it can only affect one unit, it can reliably usually affect any unit you want it to.
Yeah,
which is a nice
You have
feature.
to tell your opponent about it. I love things where you're like, well, maybe I do this. And so, like, everything you can do to just go, like, hey, if I tell my opponent this fact that my list can do this, it might add a minute to their clock.
Oh,
100%.
100%.
Just add a
100%.
little bit of, like, runtime to the CPU. And eventually, hopefully, if you can get enough threats out there, you can start to see sparks fly. So yeah, I also had it's very funny actually. Ragemonger. I don't know if you found the same thing, but in almost every single game with Ragemonger, what ended up happening is that the game turned into both infantry armies having this gigantic sort of bowl around threat ranges because you generally out-threaded everything, but you needed to play defensive turn 2, and then the only thing in the middle is heavy, and it kind of just looks like a giant like monkey knife fight. In the middle. I very much appreciate that. It feels very piratical to me.
Yeah, it's very Eastern Ocean standoff, you know? We ready to quick draw 8-shot gunshots at any given time.
So I start shooting straight away. I'm trying to remember now. We'll see if I roll dice, but I remember the Froggos just disappearing way too quickly. Yeah, I'm picking up dice. I'm thinking about it. Yeah, these frogs just absolutely disappeared because it wasn't just that they were like, it wasn't just that they were a bit too far forward in my opinion, but also like they weren't under Ripsies.
Well, to be fair, I think you killed 4 with your main gun, which is not, let's say, the likely outcome. I'm not saying it's an unlikely outcome, but it's not the expected outcome.
God, that main gun rules.
Every time you play Brian, you're like, yes, my blasts work.
Yeah,
it's one matchup in the game.
I mean, yeah, like they're like, but Brian's also brings blasts, which are kind of silly enough that like sometimes you're just like, oh wait, is it blast resistance? Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I think the obviously we can't really see, but I think the frogs on the south, you had like one shot with like the spray and otherwise the main gun.
Yeah,
and you just wiped the unit.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure.
I think I chastised myself slightly for only putting 1 in range of the spray. Yeah, and don't make me remember Invasion. Is the one on the right the one you have to score, or is the one on the left? I think it's the one on the left that I have to score to try.
Yeah, I think it's
Yeah, so you need the one on the left, and I was just like, oh, cool. That frog unit disappeared, and that Quartermaster unit's just too far away. and the next Quartermaster unit's also just a bit too far away to support it. So I felt like I just instantly was like, this game is now completely mine to win because of invasion. I have a fully armed brig ready to go. And so I just need to make sure I didn't lose the other side too hard. While maintaining control on this one. I did have the problem in my list is that the only units I had were all the big Quartermasters, which meant that capturing anything sucked. I didn't have some tiny unit to just run in and grab scenarios, which is like what Spirit Shamans are really good at.
I know. I had so many iterations of these lists with potential Spirit Shamans, but they were just so hard to justify in the end.
Yeah. This is my Shadow Tongue lists always end up like this, where I'm like, I really like having like a Bissell King, and I'll have a couple of heavies, and I'll do things, and then I'll end up, and I'll need a couple of things to arc through, and then after that I get to I've got like 6 points left. I'm like, oh, really need some units to capture stuff because the only person who can capture these. Because if you look at this invasion for a minute, I don't want to capture. I don't want to put Shadow Tongue in either of these unit zones.
No.
Not ideal. And with the amount of scoring potential that's out there in SL 2024, it's just like there's too many points left on the table if you don't take full advantage of it. The game really does say like, oh, you should be taking lots of small units, lots of small effective units, but not everyone can be a Stormcaller, unfortunately.
And that's a skill difference, to be fair.
It was me measuring that second Quartermaster unit to see if I could just blow that second unit of frogs away. And I decided to I'll just leave my guys within rough seas range in a trench. And I felt that was going to be good enough.
And you know who you didn't leave in the trench? That Quartermaster.
Yeah, I felt like the distance is better. I felt like even if you came forward and you killed everybody, at the very least I would get the brig closer to my units.
Hey, I've got a random question for you there, Errien. Did you know in Mark 4 you can pre-measure?
No. I knew I could pre-measure it. What was important? What I'm saying is that the Quartermaster was bait. You see the second unit Quartermaster, the Quartermasters, I was actually planning on moving them to the right-hand side of the building, but I decided to actually put them onto the left-hand side because I was like, maybe if I can force the frogs and the brig to both come forward, because the other Quartermaster unit he has there could reach the rest of my unit with the mini feet and the brig move, but they couldn't reach the Quartermaster, and the Quartermaster will kill that whole unit back, especially since I've racked black spot. So that unit's a bait unit. I know I have to give something up to the frog gods. And so I felt like if the best case scenario would be that his units come up, they spend quite a lot of energy trying to clear off that unit and they leave the Quartermaster alive. Because then I've got my mini feats, I've got my Ragemonger feat, I've got black spot, and I am ready to clear everything out. Because honestly, I think that you only lose about 25% of the unit's output if you lose everyone except the Quartermaster, especially in this matchup.
Yeah, I think that's right. But I think if the frogs here just reliably kill the Quartermaster and like maybe a couple of dudes just for fun, I'm happy with their contribution. Because if they just create some stragglers, those guys just never get to hold that objective, right?
Probably not. Although a couple of stragglers are really important because like brigs are immortal until all of a sudden three Marauders get to it, and then it absolutely explodes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like we said, it's a nuclear matchup. It is an absolutely nuclear matchup. Now that I'm thinking about it, did I take Fortify? I think I took Fortify instead of Rough Seas. Might be wrong.
I think you might have, yeah.
It's been a while because I also was like, how do you kill this beast? I don't think you do.
Yeah, and my game plan was definitely just basically don't.
my game before this was versus I apologize, I've forgotten his name. Your Italian player.
Oh, Connor.
Connor, thank you. Yeah, I faced Connor. And oh my god. Hello Tim. Other Tim. Okay, that's the way he responded to me. So I faced Connor, and one of the things that sort of came up in my game is that I was so paralyzed by this galleon that I just didn't sort of like do the maths and realize that he just couldn't do anything about my Deepborns at all. Like I fortified the Deepborn and walked it up, and he just could not deal with it. He kept on sending all of his other crappy little heavies and be like, "Ooh, power 18." I'm like, "Cool, armor 25, enjoy." And like, yeah, even the galleon actually do that much against me. Fortify with Ragemonger is such a monster play. I even had a lot of fun placing a bunch of look at that, 1 and a 2, beautiful. I see 3 frogs down there. That unit did not get casually removed yet. I think they get casually removed later. I think I killed 2 of them. But yeah, so these Deepborns are just doing so much work, and I thought that Fortify was going to really help me because if I put them base to base, it meant that the frog couldn't pull either of them. Same, Virago, I should say. Virago couldn't pull either of them, and they couldn't pull Ragemonger, which was very important to me. I did not want to lose. They did not want to lose this matchup just getting frogged. Which was a legit concern for me, and I felt that Fortify really helped make the matchup a little more even.
Yeah, I think the dream was just cop that you were going to do that and just ignore that guy as much as was possible.
True,
but
there is a limit to how much work that he can do.
Yeah, and to be fair, you did get the... no, it's hang on. Well, I'll let you have the dream in real time.
Oh, that was a beautiful time. We're all gonna sit here and bathe in it.
Well, that's it. That's it. I've had my time. I can join in your wins now. That's what's important.
So the frogs at the bottom there, yeah, you did pretty well. You set a couple of guys on fire, but yeah, I wasn't sure what your game plan was there.
Yeah, look, I think those guys were just meant to be annoying. I think at that point I'd realized they just should have ambushed.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm not sure it would have made a difference. Like that flank's just cooked. If the right flank collapses, it just collapses.
Yeah,
maybe they're just meant to go run interference somewhere in the middle of the board. They're just not up to this level of firefight, really.
I really wish that I had the ability to John Madden and draw on the screen here. But like if you look on the bottom there where the frogs are, you may notice the gigantic parking lot next to them. Like they're sitting in cover and there's an obstruction behind them, but they are completely unsupported and they really can't be supported. Because if there's anything that's in range to support the frogs, then what's going to happen is that the frogs are going to get charged, and then the thing that's supporting the frogs are going to get shot.
Yes. Yeah.
And you needed some terrain piece there that could block me from doing that, and it just did not exist. It was a really bad side for you. I was quite happy with the side I picked going second. I honestly feel like the terrain was a big motivator in me being able to win this game.
Yeah, I think it did cause me to have to kind of be a bit more desperate just in everything I'm doing, because like that trench there is like my real bastion on that side of the table, and those guys just do not threaten anything meaningfully from that position.
Yeah, it's in this matchup specifically, trenches are like you have to be in the right position. You've got to have the right stat line, and you've got to be somewhere where you can stage, but you're also not in threat range of a Quartermaster, who just will absolutely not care. So top side, Brig comes up. You spend a lot of time doing some precision play, and then immediately shit the bed straight away. That's
Beautiful.
fine.
Yep. I think Brig shoots Quartermaster 3 times with a variety of things, and he's still not dead.
Yeah, because he's cool, and we love him.
Yeah.
Yeah. You sprayed him twice, dice off 5s, and then you hit him with. I think you may have missed him with the main cannon.
I missed him with the main cannon for sure.
Which,
yeah.
two power 10, the 12s and a power 10. That's what 2, 2 and a 2, 2 and 1. Like you got a little unlucky with the order. If you hit the main cannon, he's dead. But because of the miss, it's just
I think I actually, I think I actually might have hit it. I think that's why this sent me to Tilt City. I'm pretty sure I hit the cannon.
I love that the Quartermaster is armor 17 with 8 boxes. He's such a Chad.
He's one of the dudes of all time, that's for sure. And I think the hardest pill to swallow here is that I had the fully painted army difference, and it did not show up for the kids.
I tried. I really tried, but I could not get it finished. Although I have to say, I spent $100 on close to $150 on paintbrushes recently. But that means I gotta paint now.
Well, that's how that works. None of us would ever overinvest in hobby supplies not to follow it up with action.
Well, I gotta mention that is 4 paintbrushes, and those were around 40% off.
Holy moly!
I asked the lady at the behind the counter, "Hey, these are gonna make me paint good, right?" And she's like, "Sure."
Fantastic. Well, she wouldn't lie to you.
Yeah, she's the art store lady. Why would she lie? What would she have to gain?
Well, that's right.
Yeah. Yeah. So I felt pretty good at this point. My right flank with the frogs on the bottom felt extremely secure. The top flank looked like that it was just taking a lot of your energy to clear. And
I had a solid 3 shots. I think they're into the Quartermaster, and I'm pretty sure he's just still alive. Much to think about.
Interesting. I think that's my 3rd place trophy up there as well, which is lording it over those frogs. I believe they may have been stunned.
Yeah, I think that was the emotional damage to the frogs. For everyone playing at home who, for some reason, doesn't have like the long shanks open for the OTC, we had just lost the round that would have made us 3rd to Errien here after he dodged me.
Yeah, so you dodged me. Thank you very much. We sat down and looked at our matchups, and I was just like, "Oh, there's absolutely no way that Lewis wants to play this game."
Yeah.
There's absolutely no way, and I felt Italian actually had the number of both the other matchups that we had. We had Cardor, and we had Protectorate, and the problem we had was that we had no idea what Protectorate did. So we kept going, "Hey Dave, how you feeling?" It's like, "Great." I'm like, "Cool, you're into this matchup now. I don't know what your army does except it's a bunch of weapon masters." And I kind of on the flight home we were talking about it, and we felt like the complete dearth of weapon master in Mark 4 may have taken a couple of people by surprise when they faced an army of it again.
Yeah, I can see it. I can see the vision.
We kept on being surprised by bastions being these, what were they, power 12 base or the 10?
I think they're 13s.
Jesus Christ.
And blessed.
Yeah, and also defensive
serious.
strike. People kept on being surprised and like, "Oh, bastions. I hear these guys aren't very good." Walking into Millie and losing half their unit to them.
Oh yeah, I fully in that game. And I'm not saying that Pirate Dave, offensive name by the way. He fully explained defensive strike to me, and then like 2 turns later, I just let him own a unit. And he was just like, "Are you sure?" And I was like, "Yeah, I did this. It's all good. My bad."
Walking up soy facing as hard as possible. Are you sure that's what you want to do?
Have you committed your move?
Did you take your finger off the piece?
Defensive
strike is OP in chess, actually.
Defensive strike's so OP in chess. That's so true. That's just en passant, right?
Yeah. No one knows what en passant does. You can move a model and point to one of their pieces and say en passant, and they'll just take it off the board.
That's actually so true. That's how I won most of my middle school chess tournaments.
Chess tournaments. I went to one chess tournament ever, and I 3-move checkmated someone on round, lost the rest.
Beautiful.
Yeah,
that's your fault for getting in the winners bracket. If you'd thrown the first game, it would have worked.
So yeah, I noticed you were measuring your second Quartermaster unit there to try to get into mine. It just isn't happening. So yeah, my Quartermaster is a huge Chad. He survives. He's not even on fire because I think he dodged all of the frog shots as well.
Yeah, which was not under rough seas. We will remind.
Was that unit prayed, or did you just?
No, I think the Reef Troll was their prey at that stage,
Odd choice.
which I think is part of. Yeah,
it is a model that's absolutely not going to be anywhere near the front lines if you can help it.
no, it's true.
He's just targeting the power models on the list first.
Well, that's right. To be fair, they do very reliably own the Reef Troll.
That's
if
crazy.
it does show its face.
That's crazy. Really? Would you like to name another list of models that would own a Reef Troll?
Well, what's interesting about a whole unit of frogs is that it reliably has less output than one shot from a Borealis. Wish that was a bit. Anyway,
I don't hate the frog gun output. It is quite fun poking just 5 models and going, yeah, they're on fire.
Yeah, and look, I actually really do like the frogs. Whether I think they'd probably get replaced by at least one unit with a Reef Troll. If I would do this list again, I think that was just an oversight, not having that long range pressure.
Yeah.
But I do like the frogs, especially because they're ostensibly like this ranged prey threat unit, and then sometimes they just go 2 melee attacks, you're dead. Cheers.
Yeah.
I
God,
love ranged prey units.
Running the numbers of frogs, like their potential, it's insane that of all of the units in Brines, which is this stacked amount of Marauders who can all be buffs to the Knights, the frogs are absolutely the hardest hitting, and it is not even close.
Yeah.
I think if you can if you can cycle prey, they're pretty good. But that's the trick. You really got
you gotta be a real big brain and learn exactly where the prey needs to be for you to kill it with something else, so then the frog can move it onto the colossal.
Yeah, I think
that's good.
The trick with prey is not to prey what you want to target, right? It's
to absolutely not. Never.
Die first, so maybe, I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm shithouse at prey.
So these are fire rolls. I'm toughing a couple of times because I'm a good player. The tough for the actual infantry probably doesn't matter hugely. It just means that now I have a that can move the Quartermaster to exactly where it needs to be.
Yeah, there's really no consequence because if you
I lose an attack.
if you fail it, I think I actually don't knock one of them down, if not 2 of them, because I'm not seeing tokens there.
There was a couple of my sad tokens there. So I was starting into this thing, and I was like, look, I've got a unit of Quartermasters. I've got a frog, a brig, and a unit of Quartermasters, and a second unit of frogs down here. Is that a feat? Is that worth the feat? Because I'm going to have to commit, and then you're going to have 3 units of Quartermasters and your beasts behind it. And also, because it's evasion, I need to commit, because I will lose extremely quickly if I don't. Because, yeah, this is also the second player's second turn now, which means that the action has to happen. And yeah, so I decide I need to commit this turn. It's not my ideal if I could help it, because I really would love to kill a little more battle group, because that minnow, I really wish that I could just shoot that minnow to death. I don't know. Does it happen? It was a nasty feat turn. I may have killed it. It's been a long time, but I remember this being a 6 Arama.
Yeah, look, this is exciting. I think you do, but I don't remember either. So we're
Is it
we're
number
just here
18 or 19?
19.
19 Ragemonger should be able to handle it. It should just die incidentally to some random Quartermasters.
Well, I think the logic was here that I could throw it away for at least like 1.5 units of shots. I think that was the intended logic here.
Or did I hold off? Was I trying to be a big brain here? I actually think. God, I wish we did this earlier, closer to the time, so I could remember.
It's the suspense that gets views.
You gotta edge them.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, I'm tempted to say now.
What else did you do on this turn?
I'm tempted to say I don't think I feed it this turn. I think I was just like, I think I can kill everything here without needing to use my feet.
This is kind of the thing about these kinds of matchups. Like, as we were saying, like, these models are really good at fighting these models. You don't often need to feed in some of these matchups, just in general.
Yeah.
Because you're gonna get what you need done ultimately.
Turns out a Quartermaster pistol kills a Quartermaster with or without feet.
Does it? If you
Why
really
not?
feats.
Without the feat, it's a Rat 5 power 12. So on average, it does. It's the tough roll makes it like a little bit annoying.
Oh, sorry. I thought you meant Quartermaster shooting a Quartermaster, not like a model in the unit shooting a. Yeah.
Yeah, no, a Quartermaster should come up just a little bit short of killing a Quartermaster.
Yeah, they respect each other. Yeah, they know to leave a little bit.
Yeah, it's honor system.
They are by far one of the coolest things in this entire army. Just in looks, and also in stats.
They just look like such tremendously big idiots, and I love that for them.
It's very upsetting when I look that the Quartermaster on his back holds what essentially looks like a couple different versions of the contraption that killed Shinzo Abe. And then you look at Firequill and he's got this power 10, range 10 pop gun. And you're like, come on, man. Just take the pistol from the Quartermaster. Look at it.
Take the contraption.
Take the contraption.
And not the shitty 1-barrel one. We want the 5-barrel contraption.
Sorry, I actually cut out as soon as you said Shinzo Abe.
I'm doing some big brain thinking here. I'm like, the problem on the top is that I actually trip over my own dick here because I'm like, Quartermaster survived. He'll just move here, scene missing, and then all of those models. And I'm looking at it now. How the hell did I think that? There's so many models. There's absolutely no way that he kills it all. And that Brig. That Brig's a problem.
What happens next may shock you.
Yeah, I'm worried about getting Varrogged, and I'm worried about my battle getting its shit pushed in.
I think at this point, I'm just realizing how cooked I am terrain-wise. Because I have just 2 units that are just out of action.
Yeah.
Which is tough.
I think we should all be proud of me that I can clearly see that I still have Tantrum up.
That is the best spell in the game. I would trade Avenging Force.
Tantrum up too. That's crazy.
Yeah, I would trade Avenging Force for Tantrum in a heartbeat.
You know when like the big thugs in the movie gets hit and like takes his glove off or his jacket off or something like that? You know that moment happens as soon as Tantrum gets dropped.
Yeah. I like it. See, I have been in my team tournament experience. I always get put into Dusk, which means even as a joke, I don't get to cast Tantrum very often. Because usually when I cast Tantrum, it's was gonna drop 2 Fury anyway.
I would take that free mortality cast. Thank you.
Exactly.
So at this point, I think I've measured that spray line about 17 times now. I'm just salivating like one of Pavlov's dogs looking at it.
So of all of those shots, of everything that happened over there, I killed 3 dudes.
I actually think there might still be another one behind the building.
I shit the bed entirely over there.
Yeah, so I felt good. Look at that, 6 and a 2, 6s all around. I'm like, who needs a feat? Feats are for chumps. Oh, come on, baby. Let's see. I'm seeing a lot of hits here.
Let's go gambling.
Yeah, and I mini-feeded for this, so I think I decided to do 2 sprays, because that's just kind of, no matter how much people tell me to do not 2 sprays and burst barrels, I'm going to do 2 sprays because I like having 2 sprays.
No, I agree.
Yeah,
You're guaranteed to flub it on the one shot unless you're feeding, and you literally can't miss.
Yeah, and the brig is the brig shifted backwards slightly, and yeah, I did not do much. It's weird. I just don't think I thought I was rolling okay, but like, yeah, just he shit the bed. And so I charge in the second unit, and yeah, I started worrying about this entire flank collapsing now, because like I really, even though I got everything I wanted, I think I absolutely overestimated my capabilities there. Yeah, because I was sort of like, because I was sort of thinking of feeding and then not feeding, I think I was living to where I thought I was then like, eventually I talked myself into just like, oh, you still have feed numbers, you just won't feed instead. I end up clearing a lot of what I want, but there's still just way too much of this stuff around at the end. And I'm like tripping over myself, trying to make sure I don't spray my own guys. I really need that brig dead, but now at this point it's just not happening. And yeah, without Ragemonger's feet, and I think I've left a guy behind.
Yeah.
Did I remember him? Pretty sure I do. Come on, get him. Wow, did I really? Oh, there we go. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I think you actually left him there just because there wasn't physically a spot for him.
That's right. There's always the one Marauder. Whenever if you get everything you want and you get a full Marauder unit charging, there's always one. Ooh, because you absolutely cannot fit this unit.
It can't be done. There's just too many medium bases.
Yeah, and I was like thinking, I was hoping I was going to clear out all these frogs and then shoot the brig, but then I was like, but I'm still in melee, so I've got to shoot the other frogs. So yeah, a lot of these gunshots get wasted. I just kind of don't play it very well. I end up clearing that unit of frogs. The brig gets damaged.
Yeah, I think it actually gets quite damaged. Like I think it's on something.
I knock it with a couple of shots and it backs off. But like brigs are binary in this matchup.
Yeah, it's either alive or it's not.
Yeah. And the problem is because I do this first, I think you actually manage to evasive back enough that the Reef Troll's not in range. Which, if I had led off with the Reef Troll, I probably would have been able to pull that through.
I think that's right, because I think I also had to use the opportunity of a couple dead models to get to really where I wanted to evasive to anyway. So I think if you shoot me from the get-go, I actually don't have a very good evasive out up there.
I get really worried now that brig has survived. I am worried about the entire flank collapsing because now I'm kind of in the same position I have down the bottom. I have no reserves there. I'm gonna have to commit some heavies to that sort of location to maybe try to stabilize it. But my heavies aren't fantastic at stabilizing locations. Like they won't die to your army most of the time, but they can't catch everything. I can't even use tramples to try to do stuff. That was beautiful. That was me. My Quartermaster, I think, spraying through, toughing my own model, failing to hit yours. Beautiful. So that brig's starting to take a bunch of damage. I'm starting to clear some of the rest of the Quartermaster unit. Still not enough, but luckily I think that Quartermaster unit has popped its mini feet, but I might be wrong.
Yeah, I think I did to try and clear a couple more dudes unsuccessfully just with the
Because it turns out in this matchup you actually don't need to use both the mini feet and the feet. You can stagger them, get more out of them. Guys are going to.
Yeah, like as we were saying, like just the base powers of everything pretty much is good enough.
Yeah. So I'm now popping this brig a bunch of times. I'm hitting it with a bunch of shots. The Reef Troll's napped well and truly out of range, even with fast strike. And then I missed that last shot as well. The brig looks like it's taken about 5-10. Looks like 11 damage. Yeah, a little bit of luck and a raged gunshot from that Reef Troll absolutely would have put into the dirt. Especially since I could have raged and then maybe puppet strings it as well, just to make sure that I was getting the right amount of damage. Yeah, so I'm a bit worried now. So
I think my big mistake here was not. Oh, damn! I wish I had the technology now as well. But my northern, my second most northerly quartermaster unit, I probably could have afforded to have it further up.
Yeah,
because
100%.
you needed to do whatever you wanted to do on the north for it to matter. So I definitely had room to try and put some more pressure on there. And honestly, without giving it away, I think it would have made a really big difference in the game overall.
Top secret models being placed on the table. So the thing the thing that was important here is I misdeployed a little bit. You see how essentially I've got 2 units of quartermasters down here on the bottom, 2 on the top there, and then there's this big gap in the middle where all of my beasts are. But I need to make sure that this quartermaster unit, which is in full view here on the bottom left, the 8 o'clock position here, on the screen. I need to make sure at least one of those members was kind of bunched up to Ragemonger, ready to shift over if need be. Yeah. So now I decide after that calamity, I decide to make myself feel better by putting a brig up here and absolutely ruining these frogs' day. Which he does. The entire unit absolutely explodes. To the brig. I like brig rolling it out against when you get to use the brig on the flanks in this versus infantry, because flanks is usually where the beasts and jacks aren't. It's such a superiority model.
It's such a model. It's the super solo of all time.
Yeah. And so I get this, like, I feel a little shitty about it because this is where I really didn't want to do it. But yeah, this unit I think ends up having to run to capture that objective and gets into threat range of your quartermaster unit.
Yeah,
I felt okay because the brig was going to control it for the rest of the game, but I really did not like having to spend 10 points to hold on to a single victory point. But it was important enough that I had to. I also probably, like usual, forgot how invasion worked. I thought I was going. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I positioned perfectly to. So yeah, now there's the thing is that none of the battle is happening on the flank. Ragemonger's feat is not going to be as effective as you'd think. I believe now. Yeah, I've got some good units up the top there, but that brig is going to annihilate most of them on its own. I've got a good solid hold on the bottom, which I felt good about, but it's not the side that I really needed to win. I had this forest, which was quite nice as a staging post, and I felt that my battle group outclassed you all.
Yes, my game plan was definitely to try and get these flanks so that I didn't need to, and just kind of faff about with your stuff rather than kill it in the middle.
Yeah. Granted that, look, you've got a minnow, and I cannot overstate how much, like, your battle group does, that one beast does hit harder than all of mine. Turns out free charges are absolutely one of the strongest upgrades you can get, because not only do you get a free fury, you also get to the free boosted damage.
Yeah, like that minnow reasonably, I think, well, obviously with like Blessing of the Gods, can remove your fortify beast.
Yeah.
But I think I did have Perdition. Okay, I did have Perdition there. I can see it. It's that shark card on the side.
Love a shark card. I think we offended Brad.
We haven't been critical enough in our analysis of Ragemonger.
Yes.
Hey, you know who will be critical in their analysis of Ragemonger, though?
What?
Tim, how does all this discourse make you feel as a bit of a Ragemonger hater yourself?
I'm not actually a Ragemonger hater. I quite like Ragemonger. I think I'm going to play him at the upcoming CanCon tournament, but I found when I was playing him, often I would get to the top of 2 and just assassinate a caster, because you have to sort of move backwards to be out of his assassination range often. And that wasn't that fun. Like, you would play 2 turns and then that would be it. I'm sort of talking about your local friendly game store games, which seems silly to not want to win on turn 2, but that's just, I don't know, that's how I felt at the start. I've moved past that now. I'm a power gamer, and I'm going to go full 4 Quartermasters for sure.
But legitimately, I find that what happens is that with we don't have the Haley 2 sort of style casters, which just there is absolutely no ceiling to their power. Ragemonger is, at the end of the day, he is stats. He's a very good stats caster, but he is a stats caster. And so, if you are willing to tell your opponents at the game shop, look, we'll dance this dance a couple of times. I'll say, look at me, I win turn 2. Then your opponent learns to keep their caster safe. And then you end up playing these, like, you get into this pretty interesting rock tank kind of game. It's not every time, and there's a lot of matchup blow it the fuck up. But I do find that that's part of the fun in War Machine, right? Is to make sure that you're like you do actually live that life where you take the really good thing and you trust your opponents to treat it like with a bit of maturity, and to go like, yeah, look, I lost, I got owned this time because I'm facing something very, very powerful. But at the end of the day, I'm going to learn how to do it. I think it's good fun. That's me talking to the camera there. I said a very funny joke.
Tim, can you run it back? Can we hear the joke?
I don't think
Please.
you should.
Please.
Is it funny? Is it offensive?
Roll it back. Roll it back.
Oh, I'm scared to roll it back.
That's me
We'll
That's me soy facing at the camera. No spoilers. No. What are we doing here?
Hang on.
Start match. Yeah, no, I didn't have to.
No, you got too far. You've got too far now. Yeah. Look at that minnow Deepborn. What's it doing?
You've gone all the way to when I drew my first blood, I think, because you just started the match on your phone.
Means I think we do these guys first.
Yeah, you've gotten way past it. Look, I'm missing a Deepborn for some reason.
Because don't you have to shoot him? No, you're engaged. No, he has gunfire.
I told you the joke was not. This joke is not going to be too.
Oh no.
Yeah, good.
How far past have we gone?
Pull back.
Like 20 minutes.
Yeah, it's. I mean, look how close you are to the end. This game is not that close to being over. Wait. Okay. All right, forward.
This better be worth it. You said it was the funniest joke in the world, Errien.
Watch me when I run my 2 Deepborns right next to the building, and I can do some. That's about what we were up to. Let's skip forward. There's one.
Oh.
There he goes. Yeah, so I'm running to contest. I just need to try to make the beasts like actually force the issue. I immediately realized that I shouldn't have ran to be base to base with the building. That's always stupid. Just be within 1 inch. There's absolutely no reason for me to do that. Yeah. And then you may notice I do a funny little trick here where I'm worried about getting I'm getting Veroged on Ragemonger. And so what I do is I position my Dirge directly in front, which I thought would protect him, and I actually don't know if it does. I should check. I was mainly wanting to stop him from being dragged through it. I think you can advance through a Dirge, but I don't think you can get pushed through. I'll have to check. And because of my sort of range.
Sorry, I think the other thing was that because I hadn't feeded yet, you probably were also just not wanting to have to pre-measure anything. So you've also just done that to stop me from dragging you.
Yeah.
Potentially. Yeah. With some nonsense.
Yeah, the Vrog is quite far up and I couldn't do anything about it. So let me wait for the War Machine app to load.
If you notice, Lewis doesn't have that problem because he printed out all these beautiful cards.
Yeah, I get you. They're very pretty. But I like being on my phone. It makes me feel like I'm posting while I'm playing in the game. Which is
You've never
very
seen
important.
shit posting like this.
Flying high.
Oh no!
Friendly models could have. Oh no! Never mind. No,
Second
no!
time.
Don't do
No,
it.
that's a
Don't
different joke. That's
leave
a
it go.
different
Let it go. Do not touch that thing. This is never going to be worth it.
Don't touch that.
Friendly models can advance to this model save enough move to move completely past the space. Yeah. So I put the model in front of him, which means I put the Dirge in front of him, which means that he can't get dragged through the Dirge. He can still advance through the Dirge if he wants to activate beforehand, but also the Dirge's -3 range meant that now the Dirge can't be like it's really hard to clear the Dirge. A neat little piece of tech for most of the casters in the army, to be honest. But in this case, yeah, Ragemonger really took use out of it. Because I was very worried about just getting Varrogged. And this pretty much stopped it from being able to be Varrogged, because I think even that quarter unit at the top there couldn't even reach the reach that unit. So reach the Dirge with flying high. So I'm looking at the table. I'm like, okay. I thought that you weren't going to kill me with the minnow. That's stupid. Like, the minnow's going to 100% kill one of my beasts. But even then, I felt okay. Like, the minnow will trade up, and then I will have a beast that is functionally unkillable for the rest of the game. I've got a unit of masters down. Oh, that's right. Infiltrate. Those guys in the forest were infiltrated, which means that which is a real problem for brides. They're sitting there in the forest. They're in threat range of most things, but they can only really be shot by a quartermaster. And much as we talk about quartermasters killing everything, I specifically made sure that they're all so the quartermaster will kill 2 models if you send them in. And making sure that the quartermaster, like, picking the right angles to make sure that quartermasters are not going to be getting huge portions of units with shots. Everyone needs to be a man and line up. To make, but not too close. If you line them close, that's bad as well. So yeah, I've got the Varrogged over there. The Varrogged now, I don't really need to worry about it. It's not going to kill my heavy, and it doesn't really have the capacity to kill anything else. And you've got 2 units of quartermasters, which you're going to feed, but you actually don't have that much to reach. And Ragemonger can't really move to either flank now to feed on your. You can't really move over to the flank to feed on the Brig very effectively. The Brig's going to have to come close to get the feed.
I think my logic here is that Brig should be about to have the best time of his life.
Oh, 100%.
Right? Like, he's about to be Rat 8, power 83 million. He's about to live his truth. 100%.
That Brig is about to kill 20 points of bottles.
I don't remember it going that way, though.
I'm pretty sure you actually remove everything there. Maybe I think I have 1 model left, which ends up being important.
Yeah. Anyway, spoilers.
So this is you measuring out position.
I think that was just Frog, just Frogicity.
Oh, right, yeah. Is Frog in range to drag Ragemonger?
Yeah, I think that was my very short-lived attempt to just be like, can I just drag the balloon and then charge in with Ragey Boy? But I think it just was a non-starter.
You're probably going like, okay, can I drag Ragemonger? If so, can I get my Ragemonger to clear the balloon? Maybe some bullshit. Yeah, you're measuring the quartermasters to see if you can clear the balloon.
Yeah.
You can't.
Because the balloon has the best rule in the game.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Flying
you
high.
see, I've got some Pods Mars, the King of Candy. I hear no disagreement from the court. Snickers, not bad. I feel like it's a bit too heavy. Although right now I am munching on some candied walnuts that my wife just handed to me. Get married, guys. That's pretty good.
Oh, congrats, man. That's exciting news. The walnuts, not marriage. That's atrociously bad. Don't do it.
Oh, okay. Are we changing it to divorced stream 2024?
Look, I don't want to put words in Tim's mouth, but one of us is an expert on that.
No, I'm kidding. My wife is lovely.
Does she enter the room?
Yep. Watching me.
It's the way that she's standing in the corner, arms completely T-posed for the last hour.
Could you give me some walnuts? Oh, sorry. She just gave me the finger.
Candied walnuts, very specifically too.
Oh.
That she made herself.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So yeah, back to the trash. I think also we ended up that turn, like, you know how turn 2 is the big scenario push? Well, I think we ended up there being 1-1 from both of our flags.
Yeah, I think at this point it was very obvious to me that these units all essentially being in my deployment zone what was going to cost me on the south, absolutely. Yeah. It didn't feel that there was a lot I could do about it at that point, but we were going to do what we could.
I think it's a little bit out of a camera shot as well, but I actually put the Quartermaster unit down the bottom there is actually positioned in such a way that, like, when you come in, you will, if Ragemonger would need to come down to the bottom to get into your into range for feet for your unit, which would put him in range of my stealth unit there. So he couldn't really choose to do that. So I was kind of trying to use the projector threat of that second unit to block attacks on the first one. And also the brig was there. So as soon as, like, and the brig was just far enough away that you'd be able to get like maybe 2 attacks on it, and then it would be out of range due to evasive. And then it would just come in and slap whatever came out in a horrendous fashion. So the minnow comes in, he gets raged. He slaps down Blessed of the Gods on the table there, like Leonard Ben Johnson, and he starts to slap the crap out of my Deepborn.
This must have been Fortify Marty.
Yeah, I fortified the ankle, which was.
Which is that one? Yeah, I can see the vestiges of a shark over there.
I'm not sure. I think there's a little part of me that thinks about, like, what you should do is you should put fortify on the beast that you want to die first, so then you can have the beast that you want at the end of the game. Oh, look at that first hit you did as well. Jesus Christ.
Beautiful. Because
this is me rolling my retaliatory, and you, like, a good third of my boxes out in that first hit, and then I just missed.
Beautiful. Well, I mean, let's be honest. We were all just holding out to see if it was the crit.
Yeah, true. Is this just over?
Yeah. Do I FF at 15? Let's find out.
So your power 19 versus armor, your dice off 1, but with Ragemonger dice. You should very comfortably. This is you rolling a bunch of your shitty little bites and shark attacks, which don't do anything. But yeah, your main attacks should hit, and absolutely crush.
Yeah, I'm Matt Knight. Oh wait, no, I can't miss.
No, you can't. You absolutely can't.
Yeah.
Oh, because of Ragemonger dice. Oh no, 2/2s.
Yeah, 2/2s. The bane of Ragemonger.
What's an animal with 4 eyes? What's a Ragemonger snake? Oh my god, it's a nerd. That's a 4 eyes.
Amazing.
Nerd snake eyes. Hell yeah. I got 1 box left. Forced you to spend an extra fury. Eat shit.
Furious.
Yeah. So yeah.
Ewan.
I was a little bit surprised by that. I shouldn't have been in retrospect. But
no,
yeah.
It seems straightforward.
Yeah, absolutely was supposed to happen. I guess, like, I was hoping that you didn't need to move within 1 inch. I think that was an unnecessary risk.
I think part of me just panicked it. No, because I was off 3. Because your armor 22.
Oh, you're right. Yeah.
So I think I did. I probably didn't need it, but I don't think it goes.
You probably panicked and like, I need all of my attacks, despite the fact that the armor was high enough that those other 2 attacks were never going to do anything.
Yeah. I think that's right.
Dice off 3, your dice off 3 with Ragemonger dice. I always just mentally just give it a +2, even though it's like it's not that, but it's like
It's
plus
hard
3 on
to-
it's plus 3 on
weird
3
maths.
dice and +2 on 2 dice. It's like essentially like if it's a 1 dice attack, you add 1. If it's a 2 dice attack, you add 2. 3 dice attack, you add 3. 4 dice attack, you add 4. Like that's kind of how the math sort of ends up with. But it's not really, because it means that when you hit really hard on like a 3 dice attack, you hit so much exponentially harder. So your charge attacks just do way more than they feel like they should, and the double and the like the on regular attacks, it's still very good, but it doesn't do the swing anywhere near as much. Dust off 3 means that you should be doing 6 per hit. And yeah, 5 attacks, 1's a boost. So 6, 12, 18, 24, 30. It's a 33, 30, 38-ish on average if you just use the Hammerhead. Like if you throw a puppet strings on there, like I feel like you very comfortably kill it even without any other attacks. Probably just a bit of an unnecessary risk. You probably now what you needed to do, right? Check this out. See that brig up there? You know how it was going to kill 20 points of models? What it should have done is it should have moved 12 down here and then skyladdered the Fire Guardian forward to be within 5 inches of my Deepborn.
By Jove, you're right.
I think that would have been much better. So what the hell are you doing? Like you're moving models in before the brig goes and clogging up where the brig should be standing.
Yeah, look, I think that's probably a fair call. I'm trying to remember what was going on in my silly little head at this point.
I think you had pre-positioned where the brig is going to go, so it's not too bad. But I really
I think
felt like
I think it was. I think it wasn't meant to affect it. I want to say,
But I
but
have
that
no
doesn't
idea-
mean my plan was good.
I have no idea why your brig's going that deep. Like it's right on the other side. Like it's now in threat. Your brig could have inched closer, like 4 inches. Like it's not actually part of the table. You could have moved the clock. And you could have moved where the clock was, and you could have inched forward, killed like most of what's there regardless, and then cleaned up with these last 4 models.
Yeah, I'm not going to tell you that I definitely didn't forget that I can move the clock. That's definitely possible.
Yeah, so you've moved like really deep with the brigs. Like right there, I'm pretty sure my even if with nothing else, I think my Deepborn could charge that brig if need be, and still be within range of my of the objective zone. Which seems like a mistake to me. The brig's power is its propelled rule, and it's guns, of course, but its propelled rule is what keeps it going turn after turn after turn. Yeah, and I just felt like the brig was now just way too far up. That unit could easily have come in and cleared up the tough models that are left. Because while we were joking before about like Brian's being very good at killing Brines, that unit's not very good at killing Quartermaster specifically.
No, especially not without their Quartermaster.
And I think you were angling for big sprays when this was a turn where the incendiary should have gone.
Oh, yeah, there we go. We've committed.
Yeah, you also went into melee with the model, which means that model is now immortal. Because Briggs can't do anything against the model right next to him.
Yes, I almost certainly just straight forgot about that, or I just accepted that one dude was going to live. It's either's possible.
So the great news is this is where the video turns into 2 videos. Please hold.
So this is where I need to. This is where I need to get. Like, I need to give. What's the opposite of a shout out? A call out?
A gauntlet? I don't know. It depends what it is.
Yeah, because now I'm really annoyed. I'm still really annoyed. My second round wasn't. I had the mic on, I had the camera on me, and then the game where I played Shadow Tongue and killed 100 points of my army was not streamed because Robin forgot to press the button. And I'm just saying.
Yeah, that's what happened. Because see, here's the mistake that Connor made. Instead of walking over to record the game, he yelled over to Robin, "Can you press record?" And Robin said, "Yeah, no worries."
Rookie mistake. Never do that.
I just
Yeah.
think fascinating that it's everyone's fault, but apart from the people in this call currently.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm the victim.
And sometimes it's right to blame you.
Oh god, that I killed every single model on the table except Jarl. And I stole the scenario piece that Jarl was on from him because he could not contest. It was an incredibly crushing game. That was a good fun. So there, your brig came up. It killed everything. I detect a quartermaster that's on fire but still alive. Look at him go!
I think I actually killed the guy I was in combat with too, which is the most frustrating thing.
I'm pretty sure you do have pistol on these sprays.
I don't think that's true.
Oh,
I don't think that's true.
oh dear God, let me check.
Yeah, let me fact check.
I'm too addicted to the big AoE.
Oh, you know what I might have done? I might have shot an AoE at like the dude next to him.
Oh yeah, no, 100%. No, the spray does not have pistol. Yeah, the poor swivel guns. Man, swivel guns. Is there a more large mismatch? Oh, so big brain. You brought Isle of Sight.
I did.
You came forward with feet, and you were trying to clear some of these bottles. And I don't believe you do very well.
No, I don't think I do. Which is really something. I think I rolled a lot of 4s. I must have.
Yeah, there's enough of this unit behind the forest that I feel pretty comfortable. And you also the quartermaster was spraying stuff off the objective. I think.
Yeah,
like
I think
this unit was forced to try to do way too much.
Yeah, there wasn't. The idea was this unit simply wins the game, and then the
look
unit
at that
behind it got to go.
Nerd snake eyes.
I think that was for damage though. Yeah, but then you got the tough.
This was another of the games where I absolutely was like kicking myself for not put the fires out. Which is such a crude. Oh, that is a double
tough.
Yeah. You gotta be a good player, you know.
Yeah, I think you were just a very good player for this one. I think is what happened.
You also need to admire my sad tokens. I stole them from a board game. I don't even remember what it is, but they are some of my favorite little tokens. It's just a little blue face which is crying, and I use it whenever a bad effect affects a model.
It's about empathy, really, at the end of the day.
Yeah, you cleared out a good half of that unit, but in this matchup,
no, I didn't. I killed 2 dudes. I killed 2 dudes. I killed 2 dudes because they both passed their tough checks.
Don't look, Lewis. Never fact check me, okay? So yeah, it's interesting because like if you actually look at the table, especially now, but my army looks really fucking flimsy at this point. Like I've got that unit, I've got that one heavy. You've still got that whole unit of quartermasters at the back, which is not doing anything. I think the main thing was just at the measuring now is just out of charge range of that Deepborn.
Yeah, I think this is actually where my misplay of the century comes from.
Oh yeah.
Which was just moving the frog to. Oh no, maybe I don't do it this turn. Maybe I don't move the frog to contest.
No,
or maybe I do.
We decide. I think you decide to the terrain.
No, I think I do.
No, 100%. Because I know what my next turn looks like.
Yeah. And you know what? Sometimes it's about both of you having a good time. Maybe I did.
Sometimes you got to very graciously give your the black spot of the century.
Allegedly.
So yeah, even though like it looks like I'm kind of like my army is like held together with popsicle sticks and jet fuel, it's all in exactly the right position to be exactly where I want to be. Like,
yeah, especially this quartermaster on the north, is actually fucked. Him being alive is actually a complete disaster.
I'm actually pretty sure he burns to death.
I don't know.
I might be
I
wrong.
don't know.
That's why I was kicking myself for not having put the fires out, because I had to get lucky. We'll see if I get lucky. I can't remember. So you got 20 minutes left to my 32. We're marking out the points here. You score the top. I score the bottom because you actually don't contest.
I think I do contest.
With what?
Because with the whole unit, I just ran off camera.
Oh, did it just run off camera?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I didn't see them. So not appearing in this film. Yeah, and that unit's just toast. Absolutely going to do nothing. That unit's going to die to melee attacks while the rest of the guys get gunned down. Yeah, so like the rest of my model of my army, I now feel like pretty good because despite the fact that you've had a reasonably good feat turn, everything is now in exactly the perfect position I need it to be while I've got my feet active. And because you've committed first, it means that like part of your problem is because you committed first, a lot of your flanking models didn't get Ragemonger's feat. Especially since your Ragemonger had to worry about being hit by mine.
Yes.
Meanwhile, now I get to move everything laterally inwards closer to my Ragemonger so that the feat gets to affect everything. Yeah, I'm now salivating. Pavlov is taking notes. I am now deciding what needs to kill what. I've got a full unit of Chargy Boys ready to go versus a Minnow, which will absolutely eat shit. The big gap I have is like I'm worried that I can't clear all the infantry I need down over here because I need to kill the Brig. I need to kill that unit on the zone. Yeah, look, the fire went out on the chat at the top there. What a chat
Yeah.
Maximus. Yeah.
No, I remember what he achieves.
So like you're in a position now where, and my army's flimsy enough that I kind of need to kill everyone. Which when you got a Ragemonger feat to do it is good, but still like it is a tall order. You need to make sure you do it above your own dick to do it. And like you still got 2 heavies, and you still got a bunch of units which are nominally kind of kill. You did not rough seas, I believe.
And a fun fact about that is on your feet turn, you can't miss me either way.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
I also did for some reason. I think I just had that's the card next to Moriarty there.
You've left me with 4 Marauders, which is perfect because it can't fit anymore.
Damn it, the efficiency's through the roof.
And there's that one. If I could John Madden a lot. Check out the base next to the Deepborn, then draw a line through the Deepborn, through the unit behind it.
Yeah. Oh no, I was about to call to Tim. Oh well, maybe he'll be back.
That's okay. So yeah, I'm now clearing off the terrain. It's a War Machine game. Get the shit out of my way. I need to clear everything to see what I can do. And I do ultimately decide that we are now spot time. I need more attacks to clear everything, and I brought the tech, so I'm doing the fucking tech. Black Spot is a spell I love, and I wish that I could get more use out of. It's such a weird thing because you look at it and it seems like a fucked rule. Like, in the dojo, you're like, hey, cool, did you know that an Abyssal King can make like 11 Black Spot? Sure can. And it's like not even too hard to pull it off in the game to get like 8 shots with it. But still like committing to that level of jank. Because every time you rack Black Spot, you end up facing like a Wrecking Crew as the only unit. Like every time you have rack spot, you'll look at the opponent Brian's army, you'll look down, you'll rack Black Spot, and you'll look up, and that army has metamorphized into Cardor.
I'm starting to believe that maybe you just have a bit of a tetchy relationship with Cardor as an army.
Maybe.
If I hold up a
But
doll,
also-
will you point out where they touched you?
Why are the unit armor 19 boxes? Why does it have volume fire? Why?
Just black spot it, you'll be right.
True. Yes. So yeah. Yeah, I'm now counting my eggs, trying to work out to get the right amount of wood. And yeah, so Ragemonger's going to hop up. He's going to drop a black spot down on that unit, right next to the Deepborn, which is going to be fucking hot. Because what's going to happen is that unit is now going to fuck ton of attacks, which I really like. I've got the Brig in the unit down the bottom to clear this unit. This unit of Quartermasters down the bottom here is like in firing angles of about 4 different models that will not. They are in an absolute kill zone. This is me adding Fury Strength and Stir the Bloods to that unit. I'll add Stir the Bloods to that unit later. I believe also the Quartermaster, sorry, the Booty Boss might be a bit of a pistol, but that just happens occasionally. Yeah, so Black Spot goes down onto this unit. And I realized that I could, 153. I want to keep a little bit of a counter here on my 1/6s. I feed it to place there, and then I'm going to repo back to that little base behind me. Do I throw anything at you? I don't know if I do. I think I really I chastise myself for kind of being because I don't really want to spend the fury to get the extra range. I end up doing it because fuck it. Oh, look at that, double 6s, cool guy. This feat turn was one of the most impressive Ragemonger feat turns I've ever done. Honestly.
The same old story.
I boosted damage. That's a 3 or 4. That's a dead Quartermaster shot because of Black Spot, which feels fucking great. Yeah, Black Spot.
Sometimes you just shoot the pot shot and just nuke him.
And I think I decide to just shoot the guy in melee with the D, because I really want that guy to go away. He's at -2 defense, even though the plus extra defense. I just do it on 2 dice.
Crank it. Yeah.
I'm good at the game. You get Ragemonger feet. It's fine. It's fine.
Don't worry about it. And I don't tough. God, that actually made such a big difference too. I forgot about that.
Yeah, the Reef Troll, but it's not the target I would have wanted to shoot.
Hard being you.
I guess I also had the Dirge if need be.
The Dirge isn't doing it, and you know it.
Dirges on Ragemonger's feet turn hurts so hard.
Yeah, they just have to hit. Being a rat 6 idiot just never really goes well.
He hits the minnow. How are we doing? Yeah, I believe he crammed. I don't know why I rolled that 1 dice. Yeah, double 6s. Hell yeah, let's fucking go. So I feel pretty good. That minnow's now just lost like a fuck ton of its damage just from the pistol. I always love it when these guys crank their dice rolls. Yeah. Honestly, the rest of this turn is just a mop up. Okay, so the Deepborn goes in. I want that Varroga dead and I want the unit dead. So I decide that I get to have my cake and eat it too.
You get to live the Mastodon dream.
I get to live the dream that can't dream every day. Please stop psychoanalyzing me. I think you just reminded me that I'm so I actually. I so far don't believe I've rolled any 1s yet. Only rolled hard 6s instead.
I think there was I think when you killed the with the spear,
right?
It was there was a 1 in there. Yeah.
Yeah. So I then use my Shark Gauntlet on one of the guys next to me who fails to tough, and I turn that with Black Spot into another shark attack onto the Varroga. So I get to cheat my double 1s easy. Nice double 6. Yep. I roll insane on this turn. Take a bite on the guy next to me. Oh, look, he dies. Do you tough? Sure doesn't. Okay, cool. Another Hammerhead shark. The poor guy doesn't know where it's coming. Oh, look, a 1.
Yep.
Oh, damn, it's a 6.
I think you roll literally straight 6s here.
I buy a couple of extra stacks. I didn't realize how bad the maths actually was on killing this Virago without.
Oh, that's
rage
just a
or doing
natural
anything.
6?
That's another natural 6. Yeah.
So that was 3 6s. I think that was actually 4 6s in a row, right?
Yeah, you got to spin the win. Yeah, I didn't actually
Yeah.
realize how bad the maths was on actually killing that Virago.
No,
until
it's
I
really
thought about
bad.
it, right?
It's not good.
Because it's an armor 17, right? With one. So,
Yeah.
a straight dice with one dice, and you've got 24 boxes.
Yeah.
Well, what you can do to get 20, you know what 24 is a multi?
Is it 6?
Mm.
It's 6. Thank you very much. Yes, you just roll 4 6s actually.
And that's on me for not counterplaying, to be completely honest.
Daddy, you
So,
shouldn't
like-
have put him there, really.
Yeah, true.
I actually shouldn't have, but that's not the point. I'm on tilt.
Yeah,
If only because of how much of a disaster it was if you didn't kill him.
it probably would have been pretty bad. Again, I still had a couple of other options, but it wasn't fantastic.
They weren't real. The other options weren't that real.
Mm.
But also, it was Ragemonger feat turn. The impossible has to be possible, otherwise, what's the point?
Yeah. Ragemonger feed turn is when you look at the odds, those odds, and like, what if it's like it's like the from the Discworld guards? I think the first one where they got the dragon. And like, what if we've got too good a shot at this and it's not 1,000,000 to 1? Because 1,000,000 to 1 odds has to happen. That's what happens to heroes. So like maybe you need to make the odds work to make sure this happens, because otherwise it's not 1,000,000 to 1.
I need to, and like, at some point I'll just sit down with OpenAI to actually build this myself. But I want to see some modeling that makes sense to me about what Ragemonger's feat turn actually does to odds, because it doesn't add 2 or 3. It actually, the main thing it does is stop bad things from happening. The real thing it does is just remove low rolling as an option.
I'm about to say, you say that, and yet I've seen a lot of bad things happen on turn.
Only to Ragemonger.
I was going to say only to the opponent.
Yeah, which is Ragemonger.
So there's 3 models gone. 3 models just got picked up because that Quartermaster just absolutely destroyed the minnow with his
I don't
hook
think
and then shot
I've
through it.
actually made a tough roll.
There's the other Quartermaster. Do I treat him with respect? I do not. So yeah, that minnow is almost dead, and pretty much the Quartermaster is the only model that's gone so far. The Quartermaster he got owned by a pistol and then a hook, and now he's dead for the next Marauder.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So the rest of them get to shoot wherever they want. I get to blow up everything, which now means that unit is now contesting his own. Can't capture it. Oh, look at that. That's a 1 hit. Oh, damn. That's fine. That's a 6 and then a 6.
Oh, there were 2 1s. Yep.
Yeah. There you go. Why are you complaining? Come on, man.
Hey, let's go.
And then
you
I
just
shoot him again.
You shoot again. I'm sure that's you explaining. I can't miss, actually, because I have feated as Ragemonger.
Yep. Something like that.
He says, "Have you read The Power of One?" And then rolls 3 1s and takes them to 6.
Me pulling out my copy of The Secret while I'm playing my Ragemonger feat.
Oh, there has to be something there. Did you ever like Chaser's Law and everything? The skit about The Secret and just in a car park, just driving into parked cars.
I don't want you to tell me anymore.
That's it. That's the whole thing. But
that-
there's something there about a skit where a Ragemonger player just rolls a bunch of dice, walks away from the table, and takes their first trophy.
You know, I worked at Borders when The Secret came out.
Yeah, how was that?
It sucked. Absolutely full of the worst store in the world with the worst people in the world.
Mm.
I would apologize to any fans of The Secret, but that's fine. You can wish it away if you're upset. I kind of get a little. The brig now moves up, and there's a unit. There's a unit here which is not visible, and it has entered the realms invisible. There we go. Change an angle.
Oh, never mind.
It's like a key change.
That
Yeah,
gives
so I
me
think
a
these
whole new
guys-
perspective of what was happening down on this side of the board.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I think the idea there was just bad. I think I just
Yeah.
should have given up.
Yeah.
On that side, I mean, because having that unit die.
No,
I should have just
I think you
gone
should have
home.
up at the whole game, to be honest.
It was at this point where I decided that I needed to commit honorable Sudoku.
Yeah, I think it was at this point. Well, I think as soon as I realized that to stay in the scenario game, I had to move that unit. I was just like, all right, look, she's probably done. But we send it.
Yeah. So yeah, you may notice that there's a marked difference in the amount of models in the table than it started. Ragemonger's pretty fun. He's a cool guy. But
Pretty chill.
I've now like cleared out like pretty much everything where I need to, and like I've got a Quartermaster unit which is now in checked position against Ragemonger. He himself could come out and fight it, but he'll die. But he doesn't really have any answers to it either. So like the game is now functionally over. I now just have enough pieces left. You pretty much only have a brig, and that's the last thing I really need to clear to end this game. Well and truly end this game. That can be some scenario thing because I'm a little bit slow on scenario now because of my lost heavies. I can't really bring my Ragemonger up to get rid of it. But yeah, you've got a last vestige of hope, but there's really not much left. If the brig managed to miraculously, sure, but even then, I've got a Deepborn unable to be killed. So like, if you're going to take anything away from this game beyond just roll lots of sixes because sixes are good, I think that I not to toot my own horn in this term plan of the game, despite the fact that everyone was talking about, oh, look at the raw tag game. Like, there is an actual long-term plan.
Yeah, I think especially watching this back, I think there was more to it than I think I didn't give myself enough credit this game either. Like I think I actually made enough reasonable decisions because I came out of it just being like, but I think I did okay. I think I just made a couple of key errors there, principally not going second and picking your table edge as well.
Yeah,
I think
100%.
that was important.
We were talking up rocket tag so much when in essence you actually really, because we could both project so much threat, going first actually doesn't give you that much of an advantage.
No, if anything, it just gave me one more turn of not playing the game.
Yeah, pretty much.
Because I just had to wait for scenario to kick in.
It's not like you can run up and threaten my deployment zone. Like you can, but we're using the same stuff. Once you're on threat, I'm in threat. So there was no advantage to first. So my last two models there, the last model in that unit managed to charge in and kill the brig, which was very important. One model in that red unit, it was the purple unit of Marauders survived. So even without gang, he managed to clear it. That was pretty much the most lucky I needed to be.
Yeah, and then I think this guy literally just clears the unit.
Yeah, the Quartermaster then blows stuff up. Well, I am not seeing any movement. Have we had a stroke?
Oh. Yep, that's the end of the...
Oh no, that's it. That Quartermaster literally clears that unit. I think I actually don't have a dude left with his 2 sprays.
And I get a little sad because I don't have anything to capture that zone with.
It's a hard knock life.
So yeah, it's interesting because we have a couple of checkmate pieces in this game, which I think is really interesting. Because there are noticing what pieces are going to just, if you can keep these models alive, they'll get a point where your opponent just can't deal with them. And once you have a critical mass of pieces that your opponent can't deal with, So like, I've got this. If I've got enough Marauders, and like I've cleared enough that he can't make enough attacks to clear them, like that's a checkmate, right? If I've got a brig and he doesn't have any battle groups anymore to threaten it, that's a checkmate model. If I've got a armor 23 heavy, or 25 in this case, because I think I've moved Fortify onto it as well, and he just does not have any hitting power, that's a checkmate. And so even though like going first got you a little bit of an advantage on the table, you could shift the zone of engagement closer to my side. So theoretically, when we were both in threat range, that meant that now you could get onto the zones.
You having 2 meaningful line of sight bits of terrain, or 3 really, because that's also that forest on the far south that I think actually did do a lot for you from the frogs.
Yeah.
That means a lot as well, which is cool. I think that's actually really cool.
Yeah, terrain is also another checkmate piece. If you've got a piece of terrain on, like, your opponent can't deal with. Yeah, I felt pretty good coming out of the OTC that I feel like I was making good decisions, and a lot of it was coming down to being able to look at the game at the start and go and looking at what pieces do I need to work to make sure still lived at the end of the game, and what am I willing to give to get to that point. And yeah, I think that what happened is that Lewis, you were still making good decisions, but there were like the frogs were just thrown away. You were down 16 points because the frogs were thrown away. It's a matchup where they were going to slightly struggle, but I do sometimes wonder what would happen if you were first and the frogs as a second line. Because they can absolutely clear Marauders like a couple shots out.
Yeah, I think really they just needed. I think they just needed it. I would have had a lot more game if they had ambushed, I think is my main takeaway.
That would definitely help, but I can't. I don't know. It would definitely be worth a different take. I sometimes wonder though if maybe you should have like ambushing would have helped. Maybe only 1 unit as well. My list is definitely like it is. It doesn't have. Realistically, if I'm really thinking about it, I should drop a Quartermaster unit for a little more flexibility. I should get a couple more small units in here to actually get take part on these some better. But the Quartermasters do so much work that it's really, really, really hard to not just take them. Yeah. The piece of flex I've taken is the Reef Troll, and it was a good piece of flex, even though it show in this game. But I believe what happened in this Reef Troll clears out that last. What happens is I think is that the Quartermaster clears everyone except 2 models, and then the Reef Troll comes up and shoots that one guy with the one black spot left, which clears that zone, and then he shoots the other guy clearing the second zone.
I respect it.
Yeah, he was a fucking cool guy. Yeah, really interesting game. I'm really glad that we could play it out, even though it was a silly meme game. It was great fun. It's always fun to throw down.
Yes, it was good game. Good game, well played.
Yeah. Look, I really enjoyed watching that of you guys. That's the first time I've watched it all the way through. And Lewis, you sort of undersold yourself. I don't think you played as bad as you said.
Look, I can understand feeling really bad on being on the receiving end of it. Like it would feel like shit because I feel like I had won because I had the pieces I needed at the end, but then I just blew him the fuck up on this on that last turn. Like I could have been 50% less lucky and still be in a fantastic
100%.
Yeah, but I just decided to win with style instead.
And that's your prerogative.